In this tutorial, we'll build a clean and responsive login and register form using Angular and DaisyUI. We'll use DaisyUI components to design the UI and add a toggle feature to switch between login and registration. We will use this GitHub repository as a starting point. Click the code button and copy the path. Then head over to your IDE and clone it using git clone and paste the path we copied. Once cloned, rename the folder to frontend. Then change into this folder and run npm install to install all libraries for Angular and DaisyUI. Type ng-serve to start the project, and control or command click this link to open it in your browser. If you see this page, you set everything up correctly. This template contains the basic Angular and DaisyUI libraries that we'll be using for this project. Let's head back to our project. And in the app folder, go to HTML file and clear everything from here, and then go to the TypeScript and remove all the code from here as well. Okay, so now that we have a clean slate, let's start with the project. Let's create a div with class of min-h-screen. This will make the height full screen. Add flex, item center, and justify center to center the content inside of the div. Background base 200 will add DaisyUI's themed background, and px4 will set the left and right horizontal padding to 16 pixels. In the second div, set full width and max width medium. The full width will cover the width of the screen on smaller screens, while max width medium will limit the width to medium, preventing it from covering the entire screen on larger devices. With background base 100, we use the default DaisyUI's background color for the card. Shadow XL creates an extra large shadow around the card. Rounded XL applies extra large border radius. P6 applies padding of 24 pixels on all sides, and space Y6 is used for the vertical gap of 24 pixels between all child elements. This is what we have so far. Inside our card, we add a title using text center class to center align the content. Text2XL makes the heading larger, font bold makes it bold, and text primary uses the primary theme color defined in DaisyUI's config. The paragraph underneath uses text small for the small text. Text base content /60 sets base content color with 60% opacity to reduce its visual weight. Here's the title that we just added. Let's add the DaisyUI tabs component to switch between the login and register forms. First, click on the HTML tab and copy the code. Go back to your IDE, create a new div, and add the classes flex and justify center to position the tabs in the center. Then paste in the tabs we just copied. Remove the third tab since we only need two. In the first tab, add class tab active and bind it to isLogin. And add the click toggle form with the login parameter. Then change the tab label to login. For the second tab, remove tab active from the class. Add class tab active and bind it to not isLogin. And set the click event to toggle form register. Change the label to register. Once that is done, save the file and go to your app.component.ts file. Add a boolean called isLogin and set it to true. Then add a function called toggleForm and in the parameters accept a type that can be either login or register. When the user toggles between login and register tabs, here's how they are triggered. When the user clicks a tab, the login or register is passed for the type parameter. If the type equals to login, the boolean value isLogin will be set to true. If the type equals to register, the boolean value isLogin will be set to false. The login tab will be active when isLogin is set to true, and the register tab will be active when isLogin is set to false. Create a form tag and inside add an ngIf and set it to isLogin. Add class space y4 for the vertical spacing of the elements, and an ng-submit that will call the onLogin function. In the app component.ts file, create an object called loginData with the parameters email and password. Then create a function called onLogin and have it print the login data to the console. We will use this to test that our login is working. Now let's go to the DaisyUI website and select the medium label component. Click the HTML tab and copy this component. Paste it inside the form that we created. Change the type and placeholder to email. Add width full and bind the login data email attribute with ngModel and change the span to email. For the password, we can copy paste this and rename the type and placeholder to password and change the attribute to password as well, and replace the email with password in the span. Now let's add a button from the DaisyUI library. add button primary and width full, change the default to login, and add type submit. Finally, create a div and add the class text center to it. Inside, add an A tag with class link and text small. And inside, type forgot password. Save everything and let's check what we built. The register form has similar styling, so we can reuse the login form with a few tweaks. Let's copy the login form and change to display the form when isLogin is set to false using not isLogin. Change onLogin to onRegister, then change login data to register data for both email and password. Copy the password and rename it to confirm password. And finally, rename the login button to register. We can also remove forgot password since we won't be needing it in this form. In our app component.ts file, create a register data object with these attributes: email, password, and confirm password. Then create an onRegister function and print the register data to the console. Now for the final bit, let's add a divider and let's add a button with class button, button outline, and width full for the continue with Google link. Save everything and we can see this is what we have at the end goal. Yay, we're done. Thank you for sticking around till the end. You're the best. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment what you want to see next, and subscribe for more content like this. Cheers!